Welcome back to another episode of Insects for Fun. Today, we're covering the beetles known for their absurd airtime and powerful thorax joint. We are going to break down how click beetles pull off their acrobatic launches without using their legs, dive underground into the long, secret lives of their larvae, meet the bioluminescent tropical species, and explore their surprising roles in human history. Click beetles belong to the family Elateridae, one of the largest beetle families in the world, with over 10,000 described species, and likely thousands more still waiting to be discovered. They've spread to every continent except Antarctica, of course, and thrive in habitats ranging from humid tropical rainforests to arid grasslands. In temperate regions, most species are shades of brown or black, blending into bark and soil. But in tropical areas, you can find shimmering metallic greens, golds, purples, and striking patterns, especially in the genera Chalcolepidus and Pyrophorus. They also have a wide range in size, with some being as small as a few millimeters, while others, like the tropical Chalcolepidus sanctus, can reach 6 centimeters in length. This is not to say that there aren't small click beetles in the tropics, because many of the smallest click beetles are also tropical species. The smaller tropical species often inhabit leaf litter, rotting logs, or soil where their clicking ability helps them evade predators and navigate dense microhabitats. So now let's talk about that signature clicking move. The click beetle's move comes from a highly specialized joint between two sections of its thorax: the prosternum, front segment, and mesosternum, middle segment. However, there's a special mechanism in this joint that enables these beetles to use it for unleashing a powerful burst of energy. In the front half of their sternum is a small peg that fits into a socket-like groove on the other half. Here's the process. The beetle arches its body, locking the peg into position under tension. Muscles compress and build stored energy much like a spring. When the peg slips, the thorax snaps straight with incredible force, producing an audible click. We're talking like 250 to 400 Gs of force, which is around 40 times more than a fighter pilot can handle. This sends the beetle into the air, sometimes 20 to 30 centimeters vertically. But why even bother doing this? The mechanism serves two main purposes. First, being to escape predators. The sudden jump and noise can confuse and startle a predator, giving the beetle a split second to flee. The sheer force alone is enough to startle anything firmly gripping it. If you've ever held one, that first click is sometimes enough to just drop the beetle from your hands because of how strong it is, even when you know it's coming. The second purpose is for self-righting. If one of these beetles lands on its back for any reason, it can click until it flips upright again. A trick especially useful in grass and leaf litter where legs can't get any traction. In some species, the force and frequency of their clicking is so intense that it polishes or even slightly pits a tiny, quote, launch pad, unquote, on the beetle's prosternum and mesosternum. Over time, this wear becomes visible as a smooth, shiny spot. Physical proof of just how heavily these beetles depend on their acrobatic escape maneuver, sometimes clicking dozens of times in a single bout to right themselves, or evade a predator. But how about their other special ability, which happens to be glowing in the dark? In tropical regions, some click beetles take things to the next level, literally glowing. Species in the genus Pyrophorus, found in Central and South America, have bioluminescent organs on their prothorax, and often on the underside of their abdomen too. Unlike fireflies, which flash in quick bursts, Pyrophorus can hold a steady glow or pulse their light. The color is typically greenish-yellow, produced by the enzyme luciferase acting on the molecule luciferin in the presence of oxygen. It's really cool to see them in the wild because of how large the glowing eye spots on their thorax can be, and also just how long they can keep them lit. Many species within the genus Pyrophorus are actually known as headlight beetles due to the bright lights they emit, which look like a car's headlights. The beetles in this genus can be found from Mexico down into South America And I've actually seen them myself while staying in Belize on a field study. They would land on the screen windows of my cabin and shine their headlights and abdomen light through the night. Apparently, people in the Caribbean and South America would attach these glowing beetles to clothing or hair for night festivities. But the question, of course, is why do click beetles glow if they already have this other crazy ability to click and launch themselves? Now, there are 3 known reasons for why this is, although none of them have been heavily studied. The first is predator deterrence. By making themselves look like toxic organisms such as brightly colored ladybird beetles or unpalatable fireflies, they can also change the intensity and sometimes even the hues of their lights depending on how irritated they are, which acts as another warning. The next thing on our list would be mate attraction. Though physical courtship is less studied in click beetles compared to fireflies, it has been confirmed that click beetles use light to attract partners. And this certainly makes sense if you're in a dense forest. The last one is actually startling predators. As I mentioned, these beetles can change the intensity of their light when bothered, and a sudden flash when disturbed might be enough to give them time to click away. So now we know a lot about the adult lives of click beetles, but we haven't even scratched the surface of what's happening in the rotting logs and soil that got us here. So let's get into the hidden lives of wire worms. The larval stage of a click beetle is known as a wire worm, a name given because their hard, shiny, and slender cylindrical bodies resemble short pieces of stiff wire. These larvae live underground or hidden in rotting wood for most of the beetle's life. This can be from 2 to 6 years, depending on species and environment. One of the most well-known for long lifespans is the eastern-eyed click beetle wireworm, which is native to the eastern United States. Wireworms have hardened head capsules that house strong mandibles for biting into roots, seeds, and small invertebrates, which of course means they have a widely varied diet. Many species feed on the roots of crops like potatoes, corn, carrots, sometimes hollowing out potatoes and yams, which, as you can imagine, is terrible for farmers. But others hunt down soil-dwelling insects, especially soft-bodied larvae and pupae, such as the grubs of scarab beetles and caterpillars and maggots that develop underground or in rotting logs. But click beetle larvae don't just live in leaf litter, rotting logs, or in soil. Some of them actually specialize in feeding on decaying plant matter, all of which play an important role in nutrient cycling by breaking down leaf litter and other organic debris. In temperate climates, click beetles are most active in late spring through summer, though some species, such as Agriotis lineatus in Europe and Alus aculatus in North America, overwinter as adults in soil or leaf litter, remaining dormant until spring when temperatures rise and activities can resume. Mating is often a nocturnal affair, with males using chemical cues to locate females, sometimes traveling surprising distances in search of a mate. This problem is solved a bit though in tropical headlight beetles thanks to their glowing organs, but research on this is still developing. Female click beetles usually lay eggs in loose soil, preferably near food sources for the larvae. The choice of egg-laying site is critical because poor placement could mean the larvae starve or just fail to complete development. Most are laid in soil crevices or under leaf litter in batches ranging from 50 to 200 eggs. After hatching, the larvae pass through 8 to 11 instars before pupating in an earthen chamber, with adults emerging after 2 to 4 weeks, ready to start the cycle again. Before we end this episode, I want to get into some folklore and cultural significance because these beetles are really fascinating. In Japan, children once collected click beetles for the novelty of their acrobatic jumps, keeping them in boxes or pockets and enjoying the sudden click that sent them flipping through the air. Much like fireflies, they became a small symbol of summertime play and rural childhood nostalgia. In Central and South America, the glowing species of Pyrophorus have been used as living lanterns. Villagers tied them to hats, clothing, even on their toes, to light evening paths. Travelers took note that they were also placed in jars or gourds with many small holes to serve as natural lamps. Their bright, ghostly glow was said to protect people from wandering spirits of the forest. There's also a cool legend that the English explorer Sir Thomas Cavendish, on his voyage to the West Indies in 1634, mistook the click beetle's light for Spanish soldiers and hesitated from landing ashore. And with that, we're going to end this week's episode on click beetles. But before you go, make sure to rate and review on whatever platform you listen. And be sure to spread the word. This podcast is a solo project, which means I need your help to keep it growing. If you want more episodes, ad-free episodes, and vlogs, then be sure to go and check out the Patreon at Insects for Fun. We've got a growing collection of episodes focused on noteworthy news and discoveries in the world of entomology. Thanks again for listening.